So once you guys have your transparency like this, we're going to come over to this station in the corner of the room. In this upper right cabinet, you're going to find a black tube that has our blue poly. You're going to want to take that out. You're going to want to have an iPad ready to go with a stopwatch on it. Have that off to the side. So we're going to come over to this gray exposure unit. I'm going to open up the tube. Now this is light sensitive material. So reach into the middle and pull out the very inside one. And please make sure you cap it back up. We can't just leave this open and off to the side. Then, if we look at our blue poly, there are two different sides. There's a shiny plastic side, and there's a dull side. It's going to be important when we're reading through the instructions which side goes up and which side goes down. So over here, on our exposure unit, we're going to undo this. Be careful, you don't want to pinch your fingers. We're going to flip this over. There are two handles on here that you're going to have to do at the same time. Please make sure you open both and you lift with both. If you lift one side and it locks, you could break the glass. We're going to lift both sides until you hear a click on both sides. Lets you know that it's locked. Then our blue poly, plastic and dull. Plastic side's going to go up, dull side down. With our transparency, you want to take that transparency and look at it. I can read this the right way as is. I need to actually flip the paper over, the transparency, so that it's wrong reading. You can't just spin it. You actually have to flip it over so it's reading the wrong way. And then we're going to center this on our blue poly. Next, we take our two handles, lift both up. You're going to hear two clicks. Bring it down and lock both. Okay, we have a couple different switches on here. First, we're going to turn on main switch. Turns all the power on. Then we're going to turn our vacuum on. You want to come closer. This is going to start to rise up towards the red zone, and what you're going to notice is this is inflating against the glass right here. It's trapping the blue poly and the transparency between it. Once this is up close to the glass, or to the red, we're going to take our knob, pull it out, and flip. Again, be careful with your fingers. On here it says to set it to 2 1/4 minutes. That's what we're going to do right here. We go to 2 1/4. And then we have two different ways we can go. We can do on manual, which means the light's just going to be on, or we can put lamp on timer, and this is going to count down, and when it's done, it shuts off. Flip that up. You're going to notice there is a bright light in there. Please do not look at it. It is extremely bright, about 4,000 watts. It can blind you if you stare at it. So now that the lamp on timer has finished its timer, it actually shut the bulb off for us. So we're going to actually flip this switch down. Now if you flip it all the way down to on manual, it's just going to turn the light back on. So we need to flip it into the middle so it's off. We're going to flip this while the vacuum's still pressurized. Now we can turn the vacuum off. We can turn our main power off. And we can open this up. Please hold on to this transparency. Put it in your slot in the cabinet. You may need it again in case something doesn't go quite right. Right now I'm just going to set it back here. I'm going to take the blue poly out. Again, we have the shiny side and the dull side. We should be moving fairly quickly. The dull side's the most important of the two. We need to make sure the dull side gets exposed and actually developed in the liquid. So if you put the dull down, it ends up sticking to the bottom and it won't develop. So it's very important. Now we flip it over and dull side is up, plastic is down, and we're going to put this in going to slip it in, and we're going to start our timer. Okay, if you look in here, you're going to notice it's fully submerged. It helps to just rock it once in a while to make sure that it stays moving, doesn't get suctioned to the bottom. And we need to be in here for 1:30 seconds, or 90 total seconds. While this is going on, you're going to want to come to the sink. We need to get some hot water going. Now your body is 98.6 degrees. This needs to be a little hotter than your body, but it doesn't need to be scalding hot. So that's a little too hot. Let's get some cold in there. If you are the first class to do this, you may want to get the water started sooner because the hot water takes a while to go through all the pipes. So if you're first class, I get this running before you even start exposing. Alright. Awesome. So we're going to keep that running while we come over here. We're at 1:05, 1:07. 15 more seconds. We want to be pretty good about our timing on this. So we don't want to let it overdevelop. When we get to 1:30, we're going to pick it up and we're going to shake it to try and get all of the extra developer off of there. 1:30, pick it up, let all that extra developer shake off. You're going to notice that dull side is now this milky texture. You don't want to mess with that because your design's in the middle. You don't want to touch the middle. But this is the side we're going to wash off, that dull, milky side. We're going to take this over to the sink. Okay, when you're washing this, please don't wash it like this or you'll spray water all over yourself. So as I'm washing this, you notice that milky stuff goes away. I'm going to keep this moving low in the sink. I like to turn it sometimes so I know I'm getting all the areas. And you're going to notice Adidas starts to show up here. There's still a little blue inside Adidas. I need to keep it moving all over until the blue goes away in the Adidas, and as soon as it does, we want to come out. So you're going to notice that's clear. There's no blue left in there, but we don't want to keep washing forever. If you wash too long, you're going to wash all of the sticky blue poly off. Then we walk over to this pad over here. Set it on the pad. I have my screen ready. It has my name on the bottom. So I'm going to take this, open side up, flat side down, and we're going to set it on here. And I like to set it at an angle to try and avoid too many air bubbles. And we're going to take some newspaper, set it on the inside. So with our squeegee, we're going to go back and forth, and we're trying to get that blue poly to stick into all of the little pores of the screen. What kind of pressure? It's an in-between super light and crazy heavy. You just got to give it a medium amount of pressure. We'll slowly peel off our newspaper. We're going to do this again. So we want to do this 3 times. A, we're trying to make all the blue poly stick to the screen. And B, we're trying to soak up all the extra liquid. One more time. Try and get in all the corners, soak up the extra blue in the water. So then we're going to slowly lift this up. what you're going to notice is all of the blue poly, all of that milky stuff, actually is stuck to the screen, and no ink can actually go through right here. The only place ink could go through is our Adidas, or right around the outside of the blue poly, but we're going to cover that up when we're actually screen printing. So once you have this, you know it's yours, you have your name on it, you have your design. We're going to come over back by the exposure unit. Depending on what semester you're in, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or it's going to be 5th hour, 6th hour, 7th hour. So all of this is 6th, all of this is 5th, all of this is 7th. I'm going to take this, set it in there, and we're going to let that dry. Our final step is going to be to clean up our area. So over here, you're going to take your transparency, you're going to put it back in the cabinet, make sure there aren't any papers laying around. When we're shutting this, we're going to lift with 2 hands up. See here, click on both sides, and that releases the locks. We can bring it down and lock the handles. Now if this is staying overnight, we're going to want to flip this so the glass doesn't get dirty. We want to cover up our developer. If you guys had a tube, take this tube and we're going to put it away. If you had any materials left over here, put them back. Please make sure all the screwdrivers and scissors are away. Please make sure the squeegee and roller is away. Please make sure the box of paper is in order. Any junk that you may have left out, please make sure you throw it away.